1979, America's third largest automaker is dying. Chrysler Corporation burns through $1.1 billion in losses, the biggest corporate hemorrhage in US history. 140,000 workers face unemployment, entire Michigan towns prepare for economic collapse, industry experts write obituaries for a company that once built the tanks that won World War II. But then, this unremarkable little sedan rolls out. Built on something engineers call Platform K, in exactly 1,095 days, this boring-looking compact car would transform red ink into nearly $1 billion in profit, save 600,000 American jobs, and prove that the most revolutionary solutions often hide in plain sight. Today on the Philosophy of Marketing, we're diving into the greatest corporate resurrection in American history. This isn't just another car story, it's a masterclass in crisis leadership, platform thinking, and turning catastrophic failure into legendary success. Understanding Chrysler's miracle requires rewinding the clock to when everything went wrong. October 1973, OPEC turns off the oil spigot. American drivers queue for hours at gas stations, some sleeping in their cars overnight. Those chrome-laden land yachts Detroit loves building suddenly look like expensive dinosaurs. Honda Civics and Toyota Corollas start eating Detroit's lunch, efficient little cars that actually start every morning and don't drink gas like alcoholics drink whiskey. In 1979, Honda sells 375,000 Civics in America, while Chrysler's entire compact car lineup sells just 180,000 units. The Japanese aren't just competing, they're dominating. For the first time in automotive history, Made in America stops being an automatic selling point. By 1978, Chrysler's reputation lies in ruins. Their latest models, the Plymouth Volare and Dodge Aspen, rust faster than iron in a rainstorm. One automotive journalist writes, "It's almost unfathomable how many screw-ups had been engineered into these very ordinary cars." Then comes the call that changes everything. A legendary Ford executive just got fired by Henry Ford II himself. The reason? He was too ambitious, too loud, and too Italian. His name? Lido Anthony Iacocca, and he's about to attempt the impossible. Picture this, you're handed the keys to a company that's not just failing, it's disintegrating. Plants closing monthly, dealers jumping ship like rats from a sinking vessel. Most sane executives would demand a golden parachute, but Lee Iacocca, he saw opportunity disguised as catastrophe. Iacocca's three-pronged attack defied every business school playbook. Move 1, march into Congress and convince them to guarantee $1.2 billion in loans, corporate welfare on an unprecedented scale. Move 2, slash his own paycheck to $1 annually, putting every penny of skin in the game. Move 3, stake everything on the most radical idea in automotive history, platform consolidation. Here's what blew my mind when researching this story. While competitors scrambled to design unique vehicles for every market niche, Iacocca zigged when everyone else zagged. His revolutionary philosophy: engineer one incredibly adaptable foundation and morph it into everything customers want. And here comes business principle number 1. Constraints force innovation, limitation breeds breakthrough thinking. But here's the engineering genius that most people miss. The K platform wasn't just cost-cutting, it was automotive DNA reprogramming. Front-wheel drive shifted weight distribution and maximized interior space. Transverse engine mounting reduced manufacturing complexity by 40%. Modular construction meant that same basic structure could become a sedan, wagon, sports car, or even a limousine. Think about the engineering marvel. One platform could support vehicles weighing 2,400 pounds or 3,200 pounds. The wheelbase could stretch from 99 inches to 120 inches. Engine options range from 84 horsepower economy units to 224 horsepower turbocharged rockets, all using the same basic bones. At this point in my life, I had no interest in working for somebody else, Lee Iacocca. The man literally revolutionized automotive economics. He constructed a manufacturing philosophy that would influence the industry for decades. However, engineering brilliance meant nothing if consumers refused to trust a company synonymous with lemons and lawsuits. Iacocca needed to rebuild Chrysler's demolished reputation, and he had one shot to get it right. His solution shattered every corporate communication rule. CEOs stayed in boardrooms behind mahogany desks, not TV studios with bright lights. But Iacocca became America's first celebrity executive, personally vouching for every car rolling off his assembly line. No scripts, no handlers, just a guy from Allentown, Pennsylvania, betting his reputation on American manufacturing. Listen to this former assembly line worker, Maria Rodriguez, who worked at the Belvedere plant. When Mr. Iacocca showed up on our factory floor in 1980, guys who hadn't smiled in months started believing again. He didn't talk down to us. He said, "We're going to build the best damn cars in America, and we're going to prove the doubters wrong together." Iacocca's communication strategy targeted 5 psychological pressure points. Executive accountability, the boss personally guaranteed quality, risking his own reputation. Competitive challenge, if you can find a better car, buy it. Wasn't marketing, it was warfare. Vulnerability as strength, admitting past failures while promising measurable change. Economic patriotism, framing car purchases as votes for American workers. And finally, authentic leadership. No corporate speak, just honest communication from a fellow immigrant son. This campaign transcended advertising. Iacocca transformed himself into Chrysler's human insurance policy, personally liable for customer satisfaction. And here comes business principle number 2. Authentic leadership communication builds trust exponentially faster than perfect products. Industry veteran Bud Leibler captured Iacocca's magnetic appeal. He wouldn't stay mad. He liked to bring an issue to its head, get it resolved. You always knew where you stood with him. But more than that, you knew he genuinely cared about the people building and buying these cars. Credible promises demand flawless delivery. Iacocca understood that resurrection required revolutionary substance, not just inspirational style. Business principle number 3. Damaged reputations recover through obsessive overperformance, not marketing magic. While competitors taught quality, Chrysler reconstructed their entire production philosophy. But here's the technical breakthrough that saved them. Statistical process control. Instead of inspecting quality after assembly, they engineered it into every step. The K-car manufacturing process introduced 47 quality checkpoints compared to 12 in the previous Chrysler models. Robots handled 73% of welding operations versus 23% previously. Tolerance standards tightened from plus or minus 3 millimeters to plus or minus 0.8 millimeters. These weren't marketing statistics, they were engineering revolutions. Former quality inspector James Thompson remembers the transformation. In 1979, we were embarrassed to tell people where we worked. By 1982, we were proud to put our names on every car. That's not corporate propaganda, that's what happens when leadership actually cares about excellence. The results spoke louder than any commercial. K-cars achieved 26 miles per gallon in the city and 41 miles per gallon on the highway with manual transmission, matching the best imports, 0 to 60 acceleration improved to 10 seconds, which was respectable for the era. But here's the dramatic shift. In 1979, J.D. Power ranked Chrysler dead last in quality among all automakers. By 1983, K-car models ranked in the top 3 for their segments. Real customer Dave Martinez from Phoenix tells the story, "I bought a 1978 Chrysler Cordoba that spent more time in the shop than in my driveway. Swore I'd never buy American again, then my neighbor got this little Aries in 1982, 3 years later, 0 problems. That car converted me back to believing in Detroit." And here's the performance metrics from Chrysler. Annual production capacity, 400,000 units per assembly line. Manufacturing defects reduced by 73% from previous platforms. Customer satisfaction scores rose from 2.1 out of 5 to 4.2 out of 5 in 2 years. Warranty claims dropped 67% compared to previous Chrysler models. And finally, versus the Japanese competitions, K-cars achieved 92% reliability rating versus Honda's 94%. Motor Trend didn't just award Aries and Reliant Car of the Year, they called it the most important automotive development since the Model T. Within 18 months, Chrysler reported its first profitable quarter after 8 consecutive quarters of losses. July 13th, 1983, Iacocca walks into a packed press conference carrying a symbolic check for $1.2 billion. Every penny of the government loans, plus interest, returned 7 years early. But here's the moment that gives me chills every time. As Iacocca announced loan repayment, the room erupted into applause. Not polite corporate clapping, genuine American pride. Because this wasn't just about money, this was about proving that American manufacturing could compete with anyone, anywhere. Iacocca later recalled, "When I handed over that check, I thought about my father, Nicola, who came to America with nothing but hope. I thought about every worker who believed in us when nobody else would. That moment wasn't about Chrysler, it was about the American dream actually working. And here's the results from Chrysler. The development investment, $1 billion. Federal loan guarantee, $1.2 billion, repaid with $311 million in interest. Peak annual earnings, $925 million, a company record equivalent to $2.8 billion today. Jobs saved, 600,000 direct and indirect positions. K-car total production, 2.1 million units through 1989, and platform derivatives, 47 distinct models across 15 years. This outcome rewrote business school textbooks. Instead of traditional decades-long platform development, Chrysler achieved instant production diversification through systematic engineering brilliance. Consider the human scale of this achievement. Iacocca inherited a company with 60 days of cash and 140,000 terrified workers. 4 years later, Chrysler employed more people than ever before, with the highest profit margins in company history. Business principle number 4, exceeding commitments creates exponential trust dividends and cultural transformation. Automotive historian David Lewis captured this magnitude. No platform in the history of the automobile industry has so dramatically allowed a company to survive in such a substantial way. No company has been down so low in such difficult straits and then depended on practically a single product to bring it back. This was American industrial resurrection. Now we can reach the K-car's most ingenious chapter, systematic multiplication that changed automotive thinking forever. 1984 marked the platform's explosive expansion. What began as basic transportation evolved into comprehensive automotive ecosystems spanning every market segment imaginable. But here's the engineering magic most people never see. The K platform used 73% common components across all variants. Engine mounts, suspension pickup points, electrical architecture, and even interior mounting systems remained identical. This meant a luxury Chrysler New Yorker shared fundamental DNA with an economy Plymouth Reliant, but customers never knew. By 1986, the K platform family included sedans, wagons, coupes, convertibles, minivans, sport cars, and even limousines. Wheelbase variation ranged from 99.1 inches to 103.3 inches. Curb weight spanned 2,383 pounds to 3,674 pounds. Engine options covered 84 to 224 horsepower, all from one fundamental architecture. Customer Joan Walsh from Toledo, Ohio, bought 6 different K platform vehicles from 1981 to 1995. We had the Aries, then the LeBaron convertible, then 2 minivans, and finally the New Yorker. They all felt familiar, but served completely different needs. That's when I realized Chrysler wasn't just building cars, they were building a transportation system for American families. But perhaps the most telling story comes from Toyota executive Shoichiro Toyoda, who visited Chrysler's Jefferson Avenue plant in 1985. He reportedly told his team, "Iacocca-san has created something we didn't expect. American efficiency with Japanese reliability. We must study this platform thinking very carefully." The student had become the teacher. But perhaps the most telling story comes from when the New York Times named Iacocca Man of the Year. They wrote, "In a time of bloated bureaucracies and confused corporate visions, Lee Iacocca gave America a lesson in bold leadership and lean operations." 1981, foundational Aries and Reliant launch, immediate success. 1982, LeBaron convertible resurrects American open-air motoring after a 6-year absence. 1984, minivan introduction transforms family transportation forever and creates an entirely new market segment. 1986, platform underpins 23 different model variations across 3 brands. 1989, 47 variants spawned from a single engineering foundation, an industry record, and finally in 1995, the platform retirement after generating $18.7 billion in revenue. The numbers tell an incredible story. Over 3.7 million K platform vehicles produced across 15 years, generating more than half of Chrysler's total profits during that period and pioneering the platform strategy every automaker uses today. And here's our 5th and final business principle. Systematic thinking multiplies innovation impact exponentially. Build frameworks, not just products. This revolutionary approach influenced every major automaker and created the template for modern automotive development. Chrysler's resurrection offers 5 transformative principles that can help any organization. But more than that, it proves that ordinary people can achieve extraordinary things when they combine brilliant strategy with relentless execution. Number 1, turn constraints into competitive advantages. Resource limitations forced Chrysler to innovate in ways their cash-rich competitors couldn't imagine. The K platform proved that focused excellence beats scattered mediocrity every single time. Number 2, build systems, not products. Platform thinking enabled market coverage impossible through traditional approaches. One brilliant foundation generated 47 different solutions. That's systematic genius. Number 3, lead with authentic vulnerability. Iacocca's personal involvement and financial sacrifice demonstrated genuine commitment. People follow leaders who share real risk, not those who hide behind corporate walls. Number 4, over-deliver on every promise. Early loan repayment wasn't just financial management, it was strategic communication, proving institutional reliability. Trust builds through consistent action, not clever messaging. Number 5, scale success through intelligent multiplication. K derivatives propelled 15 years of sustained growth, demonstrating how one excellent foundation can serve infinite market variations. Today, you see the playbook everywhere. Tesla's shared architecture across Model S, 3, X, and Y, Netflix's content platform generating hundreds of millions of original shows, Amazon's AWS infrastructure supporting millions of businesses, Apple's iOS ecosystem powering countless app innovations. Even Toyota, ironically, now uses platform sharing more extensively than any other automaker, with their TNGA strategy directly inspired by Chrysler's K-car breakthrough. But here's what moves me the most about this story. In 1979, 140,000 Chrysler workers faced unemployment. Today, platform thinking has created millions of jobs worldwide. The principles that saved Chrysler, systematic innovation, authentic leadership, and relentless execution, remain just as powerful for today's entrepreneurs building the next generation of world-changing companies. Whether you're running a startup in your garage or managing a Fortune 500 corporation, ask yourself, are you building products or are you building platforms? Are you solving individual problems or are you creating systems that can solve infinite problems? The discipline of writing something down is the first step towards making it happen. Iacocca. The next time someone tells you an idea is too simple or too boring, remember the K-car. Remember that the most revolutionary solutions often hide in plain sight. Remember that ordinary platforms can save entire industries and transform millions of lives. Now, if this deep dive inspired you to think differently about crisis leadership and systematic innovation, subscribe to the Philosophy of Marketing and ring that notification bell. In the comments, tell me what boring solution in your industry could actually be revolutionary. What platform are you building that could change everything? And until next time, remember, exceptional marketing doesn't just promote products, it transforms how entire industries think about possibility.